Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be eligible for the British Touring Car Championship, but Aston Martin are taking its new 4-seat four-door Rapide racing. Earlier this year, they entered the Nürburgring 24-hour race, and today at Silverstone, we're going to look at the differences between the road and race versions. In racing terms, the Rapide Racer, which Aston's race engineers have christened Katie, remains remarkably true to the road car. Other than the normal safety modifications necessary for racing, the biggest change is that by removing most of the interior and replacing the glass with plastic, they've saved around 500 kilos. That and the fact that Katie runs 18-inch wheels instead of the road car's 20s, which is why it looks a little under-wheeled. However, the suspension is broadly the same and the powertrain untouched, meaning a 470 brake horsepower V12 and, unusually for a race car, a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Today, Silverstone is incredibly cold and greasy. Before trying the race Rapide, I did a few laps in the road car, and short of full-on ice, I've never driven on tarmac so slippery. But this actually helps highlight the differences between the road and race cars, because straight away the racer feels so much more at home, with more grip from the Yokohama race tyres, which are wets today, less weight to control and more feel through the steering. That said, much of what makes the Rapide such a good road car is carried through to the racer. With such a long wheelbase, it is incredibly stable, and when it does slide, it does so progressively. The automatic gearbox is more of a mixed blessing though. On one hand, it makes for a very relaxed racing car, but that it automatically upshifts can occasionally catch you out, like it has done just now. Switching to sport mode will prevent this, but also introduces a more aggressive throttle map, which is not ideal in today's conditions.
So how was that then?
It's so much easier to drive than the road car, bizarrely. I mean, you'd think that, a proper sort of racing car would be a bit more intimidating in these slippy conditions, but it's not. Partly it's down to the tyres, which are proper sort of wet tyres, but also the fact that this car weighs 500 kilos less, there's less inertia going into the corners. It's just such a nicely balanced car, which comes from the long wheelbase, and it's very easy to drive with the automatic transmission, ABS, ESP. It's a doddle.
Unlike the GT4 Vantage, Aston isn't planning to offer a customer version of the Rapide Racer. This is just a development exercise. However, I reckon it might have just one more race outing before retiring to Aston's museum.